real estate contributes to jobs, contributes to the national economy. And it's really a momentous occasion that 25 years later, we are not only celebrating your Silver Jubilee, we are celebrating your contribution to India in making India not only a powerhouse, but going forward in the Amrit Kal, a developed nation, a nation that cares and looks after the prosperity of 1.4 billion Indians. Thank you very much for the good work all of you have done. All the 14,000 members of CREDAI deserve to be acknowledged and recognized for your contribution in providing a home, something which is more precious to an Indian than possibly anything else. And matter of coincidence, not because I was coming to a CREDAI function, but about 3 days ago, when did the results come out? 23rd. 23rd, after the results were all out, the results were very much in favor of our party, and thank you for all the support. I'm sure some of you who are voters in Mumbai would have also given and voted for a good government. But when the day got over, we were just playing around with the television screen to see if there was something which we could watch. And I don't know what is the coincidence, but there was Roti, Kapda aur Makan showing on one of the channels. Being a fan of Manoj Kumar, my wife and I decided, let's watch Roti, Kapda aur Makan. And once you get hooked onto the movie, particularly right from the first song itself, I think we watched it for about 2.5 hours till the wee hours of the morning. But it was truly a very, very telling commentary of the state of affairs. That the movie must be, I would suspect, 50 years old. Could easily be 50 years old. So the state of affairs that the country saw once upon a time, and how collectively as a nation, each one of us has worked to the best of our ability to prepare the nation to work not only with brick and mortar as your industry does, but to work to provide opportunities and meet the aspirations of 1.4 billion Indians. And therefore, I think a story which once was a problem for generations. Families would struggle for generations, but would never own their own home. How many cases we would know of somebody saving small amounts of money, hoping to have a home of their own. You remember that famous movie, Gharonda? Gharonda tha? Amol Palekar? Baman doesn't seem to watch too many movies. Or maybe he's too young. I'm referring to movies which are much before his time. Bandish Bhai or Manoj or Rajni Bhai would probably remember Amol Palekar and probably Vidya Balan or somebody in, not Vidya Balan, Vidya Sinha in Gharonda. And families would be saving small amounts of money. Even a saving of 100 rupees a month was precious because it was going towards possibly owning one's own home. And so many dreams at that point of time would get shattered. Sometimes somebody fell ill in the family and the entire savings went away to meet the needs of healthcare. Sometimes somebody cheated them out of their savings and they were not able to own their own home. And therefore, if one looks at the India story today, you have seen in the last 10 years a concerted effort to clean up processes, make it easier to do business, encourage honest business persons to grow and expand. I remember when we introduced RERA, there was quite a bit of opposition, quite a lot of teams coming up and telling us that this kind of a regulatory authority with such tight rules would be detrimental to the industry. But I think unanimously today, we have seen that all the riffraff and all those who are bringing a bad name to our industry is out of the system. And today, if somebody books a flat or if somebody buys a home, one can reasonably be assured that he will not be jilted, he'll have the safety of his investment, and he'll truly become the owner of his own home. And I would like to compliment all of you for your understanding, for your support in our effort to clean up the system. It's not been an easy job, but whether it was the GST regime, whether it was RERA, whether it was our effort to eliminate irregular transactions and focus on encouraging more and more people to come into the formal economy, all of these have contributed to the organized growth of the real estate sector. And I have no doubt in my mind that, in a way, the result of Haryana, the result of Maharashtra, both also reflect an endorsement of good governance, an endorsement of the desire of the common man in India to have a better quality of life, to experience ease of living, and also to enjoy the fruits of rapid development of their region, of their states. Both these states are having a large presence of the real estate sector, whether it's Gurugram in Haryana, Mumbai, Pune, Nagpur, Sambhajinagar, several important cities of Maharashtra. And our effort is that as income levels rise, more and more people become owners of their own home. They have the ability to get a bank loan at affordable interest rates, and that involved the cleaning up of the banking system. Another stupendous task that Mr. Modi had taken upon himself in 2014. And look at the transformation from a period where we had 14-15% non-performing loans or NPAs and restructured loans in the bank books. We are down to a situation where the NPA level has come down to probably 1 or 2% today. Our banks collectively have strong credit portfolios, strong balance sheets, reporting. I would suspect State Bank alone would have a 12 billion or 10 to 12 billion dollar net profit this year. The last quarter I saw was 18,000 crores. Only going to show that how important the banking industry is to the development of the real estate sector and to ensuring that the economy goes full throttle in meeting the needs and aspirations of the people of India. Friends, I heard the statistics that were just mentioned. It's the story of a glass half full. You do contribute tremendously to the economy. I have no doubt in my mind about that. But I don't think we should limit ourselves in our ambitions, in our growth story of the sector. My own sense is families which may have a small home of 1 or 2 rooms will be aspiring for bigger homes. Families which do not have a home of their own are truly very, very keen to have a home of their own. With nuclear families becoming the order of the day, you will see a huge spurt in the demand for quality housing that the people of India will desire. And therefore, if I pick up from where we last left off in Sydney, when I addressed the CREDAI conference barely 2 months ago, I think it's time that we looked at an even greater formalization of the real estate sector, which to my mind and in my humble view, will help you grow much faster. I recall appealing to all of you to look at engaging your labor in a more formal fashion, giving them the benefits of the Employee State Insurance Corporation, the ESIC benefits, encouraging them to participate in the Provident Fund Organization, EPFO, so that not only does the number of people whom you impact, which you were kind enough to share with us, get reflected in your annual reports, but also gets reflected in the national statistics. I mean, until we see all of those people registering and being a part of formal government statistics in ESIC, PF, it'll be very difficult to convince anybody that you really are impacting so many families across the length and breadth of India. Similarly, ultimately, your businesses stand on a pedestal, but that pedestal is held high by all your employees. If we can provide them social security, if we can provide them good health care, if we can provide them security for their post-retirement days, I think all of this will endear you to them. They'll feel much more aligned with your vision, with your growth plans. And I'm confident that they'll put in much better work, thereby leading to better productivity and even greater profits for your sector. And therefore, I had appealed to you in Sydney on 24th of September. It's exactly 2 months and a day. And 62 days later, I'm at the cost of repetition, earnestly appealing to your entire sector. At least begin with the 14,000 members of CREDAI. Once you do that, the rest of the industry will fall in line. If each one of us commit to ourselves that everybody who works for us will only receive his salary through digital payment, we will not encourage any cash payments. I believe most of you would not be accepting any cash payments also. And if we ensure that everybody who works in our ecosystem is a part of the national effort to meet the basic needs of 1.4 billion Indians, your contribution in giving them jobs, your contribution in helping them earn an honest day's living will truly get recognized, and I'm sure will also get rewarded. I'd also raise the issue of the environment in Sydney. I'd asked CREDAI to consider setting up a team to study whether at least in the metropolitan cities or the 20 top towns of the country where we can see the impact of construction leading to pollution, leading to air quality deteriorating, can we think in terms of adopting better construction techniques, adopting, I won't go right up to aluminium, but certainly adopting steel and precast fabrication. So we are not sitting and building plants or having those cement concrete dumpers coming into the cities, both spewing petrol or diesel fumes, coming and putting cement into the atmosphere, and then going back to reload. The entire ecosystem can significantly benefit, and your speed of construction will be much faster. So you'll be able to roll your capital, you'll be able to grow your business much faster, satisfy your clients much better, and also have much better quality of construction if we were to look at steel and precast structures voluntarily, at least in the city areas. I'm suggesting voluntarily because it's much easier to get these things done when we have all of you stakeholders participating with us rather than the government mandating these kind of steps. But I do believe this can help us reduce the AQI levels, can help us reduce the pollution levels. We've seen other countries use that very effectively. And I would urge CREDAI to take this up as a mission and report back to us what steps you are taking in this direction. We had also had significant discussions about affordable rental housing. I think that's another area where government is also willing to come forward. We have launched a scheme earlier. We are willing to have a discussion with your industry, how we can make affordable rental housing going forward and helping to make sure that nobody ever has to live in a slum, something that the President just mentioned also. I think it's time that on the one hand, while we are trying to rehabilitate all slum dwellers with a proper home of their own, in situ, exactly where they are staying or in and around that area, providing them a better quality of housing through the multi-storied buildings and cross-subsidizing the investment in slum rehabilitation with your sale component buildings. I do think that if rental housing also were to be made available, we would be able to stop any further slums proliferating, particularly in the cities. These are areas where together we can do wonders. The government on its own may not be able to achieve the kind of lofty goals that this nation demands. Our aspiration to become a developed nation, to become a prosperous nation by 2047, when we celebrate 100 years of independence, can only be complete when the basic needs of every resident of India. I just spoke about roti, kapda or makan, but it's not only food, clothing and shelter. It's also about healthcare, it's also about education, making sure everybody has the basic connectivity that is needed in today's day and age. Free-flowing water in the home, electricity, digital connectivity, cooking gas coming in preferably through pipelines. And therefore, I would appeal to all of you that our effort when we are developing master layouts or when we are developing our real estate projects should be to look at the holistic development. We may look at even gymnasiums and clubhouse or entertainment playing an important role in whatever we are doing. Parking is becoming a nightmare in some of the cities. Our layout should recognize that and also recognize that with growing incomes, the earlier formulas would not work anymore. We need to over-provide parking, given the massive scale at which people are now owning their own cars, even in India. We'll have to recognize that electric vehicles will soon become the order of the day, particularly with the falling cost of batteries. We'll see more and more electric vehicles being owned and will therefore need to have charging infrastructure in almost every building that we build. We'll have to look at recycling of waste so that we move towards a circular economy. We can't afford to just wait for the municipal corporation to collect the waste that we generate or our residents generate. In fact, I would urge some of you to also look up international technologies, or Baman, you can make a small group, Fortum in Sweden or Finland and companies like that. When I was Renewable Energy Minister, we had discussed with them whether we could have modular small plants. I think Mahindra & Mahindra also developed something. Small plants, which could even be building plants, if not a society plant, if not a locality plant, so that we are not moving large quantities of waste to long distances towards the landfill, but are able to process them in our own area and reduce the footprint of carbon because of this waste. We'll of course have to see that that waste to energy or waste to manure or the compression of waste does not result in polluting the local environment. But I'm sure there'll be technologies which can help us think smart so that we can move towards a net zero nation. And to become a net zero nation, we'll have to begin with net zero localities or net zero societies. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will truly be the smart way of growing the Indian economy, will truly lead to greater awareness about the importance of sustainability in the people of India, and in my humble opinion, will give each one of you significantly better possibilities of profits or better returns on the investments you are doing, because as more and more people start being conscious about the environment, they are also going to start seeing that the person from whom they are buying their real estate is also conscious and is not adding to the woes of the common citizen. Lastly, if you recall, I had called up from Adelaide and requested CREDAI while your conference was going on that you must look beyond the shores of India. Australia mentioned to us that they need 500,000 homes immediately. I think the situation is pretty much similar in many parts of the world, where they are looking at rejuvenating their old homes, or they are looking at additional homes, both to spur their economy or to provide housing for their students or housing for their growing workforce. And therefore, friends, I do believe that each one of us should seriously consider looking outward beyond the borders of India and see what role we can play in expanding the Indian contribution to other countries. It'll add to your bottom line, it'll add to your footprint across the world, and it'll add to our exports of services or export of infrastructure building capabilities to other parts of the world. All of these collectively portend a very good future, and I dare say the next 25 years will be even more glorious for all the members of CREDAI, for all the players in the real estate sector. And in this Amrit Kal, towards 2047, if we all collectively go forward with just a few aspirational targets before us, one of which could be moving towards the circular economy or net zero construction, making sure our impact on the environment is not detrimental to the country's interests, to the people's interests. If we can look at expanding the footprint of our sector and the 250 associated industries that Baman just mentioned, so that we are $1 trillion plus contributor to the national economy in the next 5 years. Suppose we were all to strategize and see how we can engage with the next generation, the younger people in our industry, and learn from them newer and better ways to meet the aspirations of young India. We'll be able to do smarter and better designs and construction. Can we study the best practices across the world and come up with solutions which can help our real estate sector meet our people's needs better? And can we look at affordability and connectivity through better joint planning between the government and your industry? We have the PM Gati Shakti, which helps us to assess what is the planning need of each area. I think if your sector and the government were to work in tandem, we would be in a position to actually guide and recognize government-sponsored projects also towards the direction to help your industry meet the needs of the people, and government provide the necessary connectivity so that affordable housing can be available for more and more of the middle class in India. Let's not just build structures, let's build lifestyles. Let's build a future, a country which cares for the people, which cares for the quality of life of every citizen. Let's continue to build Bharat, the Bharat that each one of us dreams and lives for. A Bharat where nobody is found wanting for the basic needs of life, where nobody is deprived of a good future for their children. And I think that journey can only be achieved when members of the real estate sector, CREDAI, and all your other colleagues take it upon themselves as a mission that we will meet the dreams of New India brick by brick, but on a mission mode, on a fast pace, in a manner in which we will not only contribute to the nation's bright future, but we will also contribute positively, effectively, and in an honest and with high integrity to meet the demands of a growing nation, a nation that aspires to be a $30 trillion economy by 2047, an economy that each one of you and your children can be proud of. My best wishes to CREDAI on this fantastic and very, very auspicious occasion, and I wish you well for the next 25 years and beyond. Thank you very much.
I thank you, Honourable Sir, for your words, which definitely strike a chord with all of us. I thank you very much for reminding us and encouraging us to fulfill our call of duty. But not only that, but thinking in a way which is conscientious, which is forward-thinking, evolutionary, and perhaps also revolutionary. Thank you very much, sir, for all the meat that you've actually given us to chew upon. Thank you very, very much. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, since we have our Honourable Ministers present, sir, we would love to also sign our MOU, engage in the signing of our MOU, if that can be presented on stage, please. And for that, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage NABL team, including Mr. N. Venkateshwaran, CEO of NABL, Mr. Ram Prasad R, Joint Director of NABL, and Mr. C. Venugopal, Advisor, NAQB, to please join us on stage. The MOU signing ceremony is, of course, a very imperative and important point for us. It is a collaboration between CREDAI and NABL, the National Accreditation Board of Testing and Calibration Laboratories. Thank you very much. And now I urge Mr. Baman R. Irani, President of CREDAI, and Mr. N. Venkateshwaran, CEO of NABL, to please come forward and sign the MOU. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have another very, very special thing. It is our 21st anniversary coffee table book. Congratulations on that. Congratulations on this new edition, and of course, signing off your intent, your MOU. Many congratulations. Very important point in our 25-year celebration of CREDAI. Another momentous occasion. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we would love to thank Mr. Goyal. I request Mr. Irani and other dignitaries on the dais to please honor Mr. Goyal on stage, please, with a token of our appreciation. Once again, thank you very, very much, sir, for sharing your invaluable time with us, and your invaluable presence has definitely, definitely meant a lot for us. Thank you very, very much, sir.